Hello, thank you so much for joining me here on my channel. I'm going to be doing the Capricorn daily energy reading. As always, take what resonates, leave what does not, as that may be meant for someone else, especially since this is a general reading. We're going to look at what you may be struggling with. So we have Two of Cups. So it could be relationships or following what it is you love or doing things that you enjoy. We have the Nine of Wands. These are my Wonderland Tarot in case you were interested. The link is down below. And we have the Ace of Pentacles. Advice from the Tarot, we have the Page of Wands. We have the Ten of Cups. And we have the Eight of Pentacles. Energies coming in. We have the Queen of Cups. We have the Eight of Wands. And we have the King of Cups. Overall energy, we have the Knight of Wands. I feel kind of as an overall energy here is that it's about following what you love. And when you do that, it brings you emotional fulfillment. When you do things that you enjoy, when you do things that bring you that sense of fulfillment within yourself, that life becomes more fulfilling. And when you do those things, it's almost like life speeds up, because when you're doing something that you enjoy, like when you're on vacation or you're spending time with people that are important to you, or you're doing a hobby that you enjoy, time goes by so quickly. So it's about finding more of those things and putting more of those things in your life that are more fulfilling, but then it seems like life goes by quickly, but it's more fulfilling. So what you may be struggling with here is we have Two of Cups, we have Nine of Wands, and we have Ace of Pentacles. So I feel like it has to do with a relationship that maybe you keep waiting for that fulfillment. Maybe you keep waiting for it to give you something, like to make you feel a certain way. Maybe you keep waiting for this, for something to click or something to happen. Because we have this Nine of Wands here, and he's waiting, right, for this something to happen. And I feel like with the Two of Cups and the Ace of Pentacles is I feel like you're waiting for these maybe relationships to connect, or to have that relationship that is strong, or to have that job or that financial security, or that relationship that helps you to feel stable. That maybe I feel like you keep waiting for this to happen. Like you keep looking for it and you keep waiting for it, and you're waiting and waiting and waiting, and it just seems like it's not happening for you. The advice from the tarot is to really think about, right, because we have this little lizard here, and he's thinking, he's contemplating this Page of Wands. He's thinking about, what is it that I'm waiting for, and what is it that I can do that I can bring that stability into my life for myself, right? The advice from the tarot is what brings you that sense of fulfillment, that Ten of Cups, and to write those things down and to really look. I feel like this has nothing to do with this. I feel like you're waiting for something else to give you this sense of contentment, but in actuality, it's really within yourself, that it's finding that fulfillment within yourself and doing those things that bring you that sense of fulfillment, and focusing on those things that bring you that sense of accomplishment and fulfillment within yourself. And to not wait for others or things to do it, but to find it within you. And I feel like that's what the advice from the tarot is really take a deeper look and say, what really brings you a sense of fulfillment? What really brings you, yes, we can buy things or we can go do things, and for a short amount of time we'll feel better, we'll feel that sense of fulfillment, but then when we go back to the way things are, when we go back home from vacation or things go back to normal, it's like then you feel this emptiness again. So then you're looking for something else to fulfill that and something else to do that. But when you look within yourself and you find that fulfillment within yourself, and you're like, okay, what makes my day-to-day seem more fulfilling, right? Is my job fulfilling? Is my relationships fulfilling? Is my home life, what I'm doing, how I'm spending my free time, is that fulfilling? Am I doing those hobbies or those activities that bring me a sense of fulfillment? Or am I just doing things to just get to the next moment, or to just kind of check out for, a bit and then just get to the next day? So I feel like that's the advice from the tarot, is to really say, am I doing those things that will give me fulfillment on a daily basis? And if I'm not, it's time to write those down, and it's time to figure those out, to find that fulfillment within yourself. The energy that wants to come in for you is, right, that each day is more fulfilling, that emotionally you're feeling a lot better, that time tends to speed up when you focus on those things that make you happy. I feel like it's focusing on the things that bring you enjoyment and letting go of the things that create chaos in your life. Like maybe it's learning about what you need to focus on. Are you putting yourself in situations where, are you holding on to things, negative things that happened, and are you focusing on those, or do you need to learn to let those go and just focus on what brings you that fulfillment within your life? And I feel like this represents finding happiness within your life and fulfillment within you, and that life tends to speed up when you do those things, and that it feels like you're more in control, and that each day almost is like a challenge to say, what can I do today to bring me that sense of satisfaction within myself, right? What can I focus on? What can I work on? What can I do that will make me feel good today? One of the things that I've started doing is it's nothing but, which I used to do it before and then I got away from it, is just doing a little bit of like exercising within my living space. Like before I go to bed, I do 50 sit-ups. Although I'm also trying to get myself ready for when I go back to the being a cashier and standing on my feet all day. But also it helps me to feel good, and it helps me to feel better about myself. Like when I do those 50 sit-ups before I go to bed, and it's sometimes I'll take a break from doing readings and I'll just do some stretchings, and I'll just stretch my, my neck and my arms, and it's just for a couple of minutes, right? It's not even anything big, but for me, that makes me feel so much better because I'm releasing tension. I'm letting things go. I feel like I'm setting myself up for success, so that when I have to go back to being a cashier, that if I feel like if I have better muscles, then maybe I'll be able to tolerate standing longer, right? It won't be as painful. So it's like, what are those things that you can do to set yourself up for success? So instead of me sitting on the couch playing games or watching TV, like I make more of an effort to get myself moving, or I've been like cleaning areas out. Like I've been organizing areas, and that helps me to feel better too. So again, what are those things that you can do that bring that emotional, like you feel so much better when you feel that you have things under control and you have things organized. And I feel like also when you're making better choices and decisions for yourself that bring you that emotional fulfillment, that you feel so much better. And it's sometimes we get away from those and we just kind of do. It's almost like our actions are like the junk food, right? Because junk food gives us a quick satisfaction, right? If you grab a bag of, I'm thinking of Cheetos, which I did just buy Cheetos, which I ate some, but then I didn't finish the rest of the bag and I threw it out because I was like, I don't need the whole bag. But anyways, it's like when you have junk food, it's like that quick fix, right? You're craving something and you have it. And then it's like, oh boy, I feel, you feel sluggish after. I know I feel sluggish afterwards when I start eating junk food. When I get into that phase, I get into these horrible phases of when I start eating junk food. And so it starts with one little thing and then it adds to others. So I know I have to keep an eye on that. But then I always feel sluggish and I feel tired and I just don't feel good. But when I start eating fruits, like I got myself a whole watermelon. And so I'll cut pieces off that and I'll snack on that instead. So that makes me feel so much better. So it's like, yeah, you can have that quick fix, but it really doesn't last very long. And so then you're always looking for that fix. But then if you're like changing the way that you do things and just it's almost like you know, watching TV or being on social media is kind of like that fast food for your mind to be able to just, you know, get through an evening or get through a night or get through a situation, instead of kind of taking the longer route where it's like, let's go for a walk, or let's do a little workout, or let's clean up that closet, or clean out those drawers, or clean off that counter, right? That's definitely not as fun, but that is way more rewarding than, not to say that you shouldn't be on social media or you shouldn't watch TV. I'm not saying that, but just kind of looking at how much time you're spending on that and saying, well, maybe I can take 30 minutes and then 30 minutes away from that, and I can put it towards 30 minutes towards doing something that is more productive, right? That's what I'm trying to figure out and that's what I'm trying to do, is use my time wisely, to use my time better. The time that I have, how can I be more productive, right? How can I be smarter with my time usage? So sometimes just those little changes can make big difference, and we can have that feeling of fulfillment within ourselves. And making those little changes and not looking for something else to fulfill that need, but to find it within ourselves, right? That, oh, wow, that felt so good. Like I got those drawers organized, or I got that closet cleaned out, or, you know, I got that done, and it makes me feel so much better. I kind of felt like pulling a few of the Animal Oracle. We have Sing Your Own Song. We have You Are Never Alone. And we have Sometimes Life Stings. Sometimes life stings, but I feel like it shows you what things need to be looked at, or what things need to be changed, or to show you how strong you are to get through a situation, to work through a situation, how you're handling a situation, right? And this is in the shape of a heart. And I feel like it's like loving yourself, that you're not alone, that like you have yourself, even though that's like being alone. But it's like when you do those things that bring you that sense of fulfillment, then you're not really feeling alone. Yes, it's good to have, you know, social interaction. I'm not saying to be alone all the time. But I feel like when you can find contentment within yourself, then if you happen to be alone, then the time that you spend alone is very rewarding. And you can sing your own song, and you can do what you like to do, right? You can do what brings you happiness. You can do what brings you contentment, right? Let's grab a Star Dragons. We have space. Finding your own space, and in your space where you are alone, that you feel good in it. Some people don't like to be alone, and I feel like it's because maybe they don't even know how to be alone. Maybe they don't feel comfortable with being alone because maybe they're going to think about things that they don't want to think about, but maybe that's something that they need to work on. Maybe that's something that they need to face. Maybe that's something that they have to deal with. Only you can decide that. But I feel like when you work through those things and you set yourself free from those, then the time that you have, that set up a puzzle. I've been thinking about that. I've been talking about it lately, and I kind of feel like setting up a puzzle again, and getting a puzzle out and doing I love doing that. I love, you know, setting it up on the table and being able to go to the puzzle and just work on that. For me personally, I don't turn the TV on until later. I try not to turn it on until like 6 o'clock or later. If I can go longer, definitely. I mean, if I can do some of my mugs, or I can do something else, or maybe I can get going on the puzzle, like that would be a good thing. I like to spend my time that way. And it's in your own space doing those things that you enjoy doing. And I feel like in your space, like what does that look like, and what would you like to do that brings you that sense of fulfillment within yourself? And I feel like this is more emotionally fulfilling relationships too, right? When you feel happier within yourself, then the relationships around you become happier, right? That you start to gravitate towards those relationships that bring you that happiness within yourself. We have triggers. What are those things that trigger you in a negative way? What are those things that trigger you in a positive way? Sometimes we have those things, you know, it doesn't always have to be negative, but it's like, what are those things that can trigger you to get more motivated, right? So sometimes if I hear a new song or something, or I hear some music, like that will trigger me to get moving, right? And to exercise, or to like start moving around and get motivated, and it's easier to get maybe the dishes done or to clean things up. It could be those positive triggers that enable you and motivate you, and surrounding yourself with those things that trigger you in a positive way, right? It doesn't necessarily have to be a negative way. I like to, as I said before, I like to buy some flowers from Walmart or Publix. We have Publix around here. And I will buy some flowers and I will put them out on my counter. And every time I see them, they make me smile. They make me feel good. They put me in a good mood. They trigger me in a positive way to motivate me to stay in a good mood. So what are those things that you could put around that will trigger you in a positive way? And if you have those things that trigger you in a negative way, maybe there's a way to, like for me, negative triggers would be clutter everywhere. So that starts to give me anxiety and that gives me stress. So it's like taking that time instead of watching TV is to relieve one of my triggers, is to organize the counter, and I'll feel so much better. And then I feel that I've relieved some stress. And so I've done something to help myself, right? I've taken 30 minutes, I've cleaned off the counter, and I feel so much better. Let's grab a angel answers we have within the next few months. So maybe within the next few months, you start working on your positive and your negative triggers, that you start to condition yourself to maybe take that 30 minutes during the day and you do something to work on these, right? In a positive or negative way, and to work on those. Set a goal, set a list, and make that something that you can focus on. Just something easy, right? It's always better to start easy, because if we feel like, oh, okay, I have to spend the next 2 hours doing that, then that becomes overwhelming. Set yourself up for success and pick an amount of time, or pick something that you know that you will accomplish. When you put too much on your plate, you know you're not going to get done. It sounds good if you can get it done, but if you know you're not going to get it done, then you don't get it done, then you're going to be frustrated. But if you just, like I said, if you set 30 minutes aside, maybe it's even just 15 minutes, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever it is, right? That you know that you can accomplish and you can get done. And if you go past that, then that makes you feel even better, right? And so next time or next week or next month when you do it, you set that a little higher, right? And so then you start to build that pattern within yourself. We have unfinished symphony. Get back to the things that you love. Get back to the things that you enjoy. Focus on those things that make you happy, that bring you that emotional fulfillment that I was talking about, right? Is there something that you used to do or you were doing that you really enjoyed, but you haven't done in a while? And it's time to get back to that, right? To love yourself enough and to get back to what's important to you, so that when life stings, it doesn't seem as hard, because you have these positive things that you have set up, that you've gone back to, that you enjoy doing. You have these positive triggers to help you through those situations. We have door to personal healing and happiness. So you have the key to open up that door. You have the power to open up that door, and that's what you have to realize. And those are the things that you need to focus on. And those are the things that you need to do in order to change that, right? Instead of waiting for that feeling of fulfillment or for someone else to fulfill that or something else, you find it within yourself. We have rest and rejuvenate. So we have the Four of Swords. So take that time to, again, think about that. Take that alone time. Take that space. That's what I was thinking. I was like, there's a card over here. So space. Take the space, right, to rest and rejuvenate and figure out what it is that you need to focus on. And I felt one more. So we have temptation, but this is also the Capricorn card. This is the Devil card, but it's also the Capricorn card. So I feel it's almost like push that temptation away and focus on what's important, right? Focus on yourself and empower yourself, because this is also the Capricorn card, and to empower yourself. Push away the temptation to take the easy route and to eat the junk food, and work towards that, those work towards the goals that you have that bring you that contentment and happiness within your life. We have to make an effort to make the changes, right? It would be nice to be able to just sit back and things happen for us. But I feel like there are times in our lives when we have to make the effort. We have to push ourselves. Just like this morning when I got up, I had to go to, it was kind of earlier than normal, but I had to go to the ladies' room. And so then I was like, well, I can either go back to bed and play a game on my phone or something, or just kind of lay there, or I can just get moving. So I chose to stay up and get dressed, and I did the dishes and I got moving, and I watered the plants and did all my chores and everything. And then I put my makeup on, got ready to do my videos. So I was really proud of myself. I was really proud of myself that I didn't fall into the temptation of going back to bed and being lazy for me and laying down and not getting my work done. I'm really proud of myself that I pushed through, even though I was still a little tired. I was like, let's get an early start on the day and let's get things moving, right? And I'm so proud that I did that, and I'm so glad that I did that. So it's resist that, even those little temptations that we have, right? When we work on those and we say, okay, let me make a choice that's best for me. And that made me feel good. And those are one of those things that you do for that fulfillment within yourself. And you say, I'm so proud of myself, right? I didn't go back to bed. I got things moving. I got things going. The day seems to be going by. The day is going by super quick, but the day seems to be going by smoother because even though there were a few bumps in the road this morning, I somehow messed up my email, but I kind of fixed it. So I'm just like, I'm not going to worry about that. But I was able to get work done, and I'm getting work done, and it makes me feel good, instead of if I went back to bed and then I got up a couple hours later, and then it seems like you're always trying to catch up, right? So do those things to set yourself up for success. Look at that. We have the Devil card again. So that over here, we have take care immediately to avoid temptation and deceit, right? Falling back into those old ways, falling back into those negative triggers. And then we have fire. Let go of emotional upheaval and embrace the renewal of the present, right? Embrace the ability for in the present time that you can change old habits, that you can change negative outcomes, that you can turn things around, that you have the power within yourself to turn things around, right? Not waiting for this, but making things happen and doing that emotional fulfillment within yourself. Realizing that, right? Sometimes life stings, but when you have that time to yourself, you get back to what's important to you. It brings you a sense of fulfillment within your life, and you open up that door to personal healing and happiness. All right. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. I hope you have an amazing day. As always, stay positive, stay safe, and I will see you next time.